For many artists in urban India, collaborations with artisans living in rural or tribal areas have been an invaluable way to enrich their creative practice. For Shelly Jyoti, whose educational background includes literature and fashion, has a keen interest in both India's material and socio-political history that has inspired her textile work over the past decades. While working with Ajrak as a medium of her visual expression, and with those who have inherited and are passing on our textile traditions, Jyoti has been able to consider the critical relationship between the materials and traditional processes used in Ajrak production to develop a deeper understanding of the critical role that cloth, fiber, natural dyes and environment each play in her khadi and Ajrak art scrolls. She gained a nuanced understanding of the relationship between traditional artisans and contemporary artists like her. Ajrak means blue in Arabic language. These artisans migrated to Bhuj in 1600 CE from Sindh and Baluchistan with their craft of indigo printing and dyeing. The history of Ajrak can be traced from the times of the ancient civilizations of the Indus Valley around 2500 BC to 1500 BC. In 2008, she was working on a visual art project titled Indigo Narratives. Her works examine the plight of the indigo farmers and Gandhi's first non-violent protest, bringing awakening to a new national consciousness of political and social change during the British rule. She further explored indigo as a plant, color and dye through Ajrak textile traditions.
Before my creative journey begins to Bhuj, I conceptualize the artwork on big imperial sheets. Like a designer, the pattern making of the designs are prepared and ready to travel with me to Ajrakpur. Once the fabric is stretched on table, the design blocks are selected per each artwork and are placed alongside the paper patterns. There is story sharing of my subject with the artisans for their involvement in my project. Their participation is very meaningful in implementing my story on the fabric. For example, the present exhibition that I'm working on a title, The Khadi March, just 5 meters, creating many different charkhas and the chakras for flag series, angarkhas and the blouses, also sharing Gandhi's ideas on khadi. I feel the artisans' involvement in my project makes my artwork alive. My work is different than normal assembly line printing job for artisans. It's more time consuming and challenging for an artisan as it's not repetitive of the block. Each block has to be carefully thought and blocked within the parameters of my design thought process. After multiple washing, steaming and drying process of the fabric, it's ready to be on the table for printing job. The artisans begin blocking by using the outline block with resist, made with rice paste, acacia gum, lime called kirana in local language on the fabric. The printed pattern remains white. The black areas are stamped on the cloth with another filler block. For one print, there are multiple blocks that are used for different colors. For the next stage, the mud resist paste called khar is prepared with rice paste, alum, molasses, fennel, fuller's earth and other herbs mixed with gum, which is printed on the areas that are to be protected against indigo dye. That is, the areas meant to be white, black and red. The cloth goes through first indigo dye. It is soaked in water for at least an hour. craftsman swishes and thrashes the ajraks in water for an hour or more until the gum and the excess dye has been washed off, and the white areas become clear. This stage is called vichar in the large copper pot, and then ajraks are dyed with madder. The mud resist mixture is again printed to cover the red areas and immediately sprinkled with sifted dried cow dung to dry the wet areas, and this process is called meena. The thick mud encrusted cloth is then folded and slowly lowered into indigo vat for the second time. I use a lot of red in my artworks, hence the red ajraks are spread out to be partially dry in sun. These are wet again before they are completely dried. This alternate drying and drenching bleaches the white areas and deepen the colors. The ajraks are dried, rolled into bundle and then taken to the river or the water tanks for final finish and the final wash. The craftsmen fold the ajraks while still damp and weight presses them as they become dry. As a visual artist, I experienced that multiple printing and dyeing process that makes an artwork is not always the same what I conceived to begin with. The process keeps bringing new elements, and as an artist on job, I keep adding newer elements, which is the fun of it. I find ajrak has a dazzling quality as a fabric.
Ajrak process, being a very laborious craft, can be translated as Aaj ke din rakh, or keep it for today, because that is what the process is. At every stage of the tedious dyeing process, the fabric should dry for 3 to 4 days. Nature plays an important role in the making of ajrak. Craftsmen work in total harmony with their environment.
कि वो जो काम है ना थोड़ा अलग तरीके का होता है, जो हमारा रूटीन काम होता है उनसे वो थोड़ा अलग होता है और उसमें टाइम ज़्यादा लगता है। वहाँ क्या है कि कहीं पे ब्लॉक छापने का है, कहीं पे हाथ से कुछ करने का है, कहीं से कागज़ रख के कट करने का है। और ये जो काम है वो थोड़ा सोच के और ऐसे करना पड़ता है, थोड़ा डिफ़िकल्ट तो रहता है, लेकिन डिफ़िकल्ट जो है ना वही असलियत चीज़ है ना, कि उसमें से कुछ जानकारी भी मिल सकती है। वो ये जो नेचुरल पे गए, ये जैसे ये गांधी जी का चरखे का था तो खादी पे काम किया, और खादी में उन्होंने ऐसे वॉल पीस जो बनाए, तो वॉल पीस जो है वैसे जो हमने कपड़े के ऊपर डिज़ाइन प्रिंट की तो वो एक डिज़ाइन है, लेकिन इनका जो कपड़ा है वो कुछ बोलता है, किताब की तरह। किताब जैसे पढ़ते हैं तो उसमें कुछ लिखा हुआ है तो अपने को किताब कुछ कह रही है, तो इनका जो वॉल पीस है वो भी कुछ संदेश दे रहा है, ऐसा लग रहा है।